Hello and welcome to this live stream. So this is an English Hangout. If you have any questions about pronunciation, how to pronounce something in English, or if you want to say something and you're not sure if it sounds a little weird, let me know. So for those who don't know, I'm Jessie. I am a Canadian, an English speaker, and my mission on social media is to help English learners improve their accent and their pronunciation. So I have a bunch of videos on pronunciation and different tips and tricks to help you improve your English. So if you're here, feel free to say hello, where you're joining from. As always, YouTube has priority, but if there are no comments, I will check out TikTok to see how things are going. And of course, if you guys want to join me on YouTube, that's where I am. So before we get started, like always, I will say, if you're going to ask me a question, an English question, make it a question that any English speaker can answer, not necessarily someone who has studied as an English teacher, because my goal for my channel is to help you speak more like an English speaker, not like a dictionary or a grammar book. So I really want to keep that, I guess, that spirit or that like mission. So before we get started, before we open it up to questions, I am going to share with you guys a quick little ChatGPT demo, which will be on YouTube, not on TikTok. So, as you guys know, I have a free gift for you. Link in TikTok bio and link in the description of this video. It is a free ChatGPT prompt guide that will help you with prompts and ideas on how to use ChatGPT to improve your English. So I'm just going to put that there. It could be found in the description. I'm going to get rid of my name here. See if I could do that. Nope, I don't know how to do it. So I'm going to share with you my screen. And a question I was asked recently was, what's the difference between talk and speak? And of course, I could try to explain it, but I want to do a quick demonstration with ChatGPT to share with you how you can ask ChatGPT these questions. So I'm going to share my screen here. Share screen. And bear with me as my computer's a little bit slower. Okay, good. So you should be able to see it. I love it. All right, let's say, like the question I got was, what's the difference between talk and speak? So I'm going to go to, I have, yeah, corrections. That's kind of my chat about that. So I could say, what is the difference between talk? I'm going to put that in exclamation, in quotation marks, but it's not necessarily, and speak. With ChatGPT, you'll see in my free ChatGPT guide, which is available for download on TikTok and YouTube, you can ask more. So what is the difference between talk and speak? Give me some reasons to use each and a couple examples, or a few. A couple means two, a few means like, 3, 4 kind of thing, and each. And so give me some reasons to use each and a few examples so I can see the difference. All right, so I have that in here. We're playing with ChatGPT. If you want to see it, come to YouTube. All right. Show me. I'm a very visual person. Like, I love tables and stuff. So show me in table format, because when I see lists or paragraphs, I'm like, oh, this is just like so frustrating. And the I should always be capitalized. And I didn't check for typos, so don't judge me. Show me in table format. Okay, so there we go. We're gonna see the difference. So, ooh, I like this. See how it makes a table so quickly? Um, okay. I was not expecting this, but I like how it says common phrases. So we can talk about something, talk to or with someone. We could speak to or with someone. We can speak about something, but we can also talk about. This emphasizes the interaction and exchange of ideas, and this emphasizes the act of verbal communication. You can see speak here. So less formal, more formal, whatnot. I want to see this. This is what I'm interested in. So, reasons to use talk when having a casual conversation, when emphasizing the interaction. As you can see, it gives a bunch of things. For me, it feels like that's a lot. Um, I'm curious, are there situations where speak is grammatically correct? I'm typing with one hand. And talk is not. And vice versa. So vice versa means the opposite way. I don't want to have to type that out again. That's kind of the question I want right now. The question, the answer that I want. Yes. Okay. So exactly, that's what I was thinking about. So when people say I talk French, you don't say I talk French or I talk English. You say I speak English. So this is basically what the question was with a friend of mine that said, "What's the difference? Do I say I talk English? No, we speak English." So there we go. Formal address. The president will speak at the ceremony. Perfect. Anyways, I wanted to just share that so that you guys can see how to use ChatGPT. But if you want your own free guide, you know, check out that description because I have it for you. All right, next. I am going to check out my comments on TikTok because usually I have a lot more people when I go live on Saturday, but it's not Saturday and I have something planned. So, I see what's the difference between v so you're the V, you know, your teeth are going to be on your bottom lip. So very. And then with the W, your teeth are not touching there. So it's like what where where. So it's not there, it's where. I have a whole video on it. So if you actually go to my YouTube, Learn English with Jess, and you look up V and W, I have a whole video sharing with you what your mouth should look like, as well as some examples and practice, like repeat after me exercises. Writing in business is most challenging. I am always not sure when to put the in the sentence. I understand that, especially in your language, in your first language, if sometimes you use the when we don't in English or the opposite. There are even times when English speakers don't say the when it grammatically we should. So I'm guilty of it. And sometimes I do make that mistake because I want you guys to see how native speakers speak. So, for example, I'll say link in bio. Technically, you're supposed to say link in the bio or link in my bio, but I say link in bio. Grammatically, not really correct, but my goal is to help you guys see how English speakers speak. And you use ChatGPT a lot. I love that. The classes are one-on-one. I don't have one-on-one classes, but I do have Patreon that I'm going to start allowing people to join paid tiers in August. So if you do want to have more like video calls with me, that's when. Again, Jason Davis, that's when you ask ChatGPT. So I have a free prompt guide in my bio. Yeah. So the meaning of burning bridges, it's a metaphor for um, like cutting out relationships in a sense. Like, for example, if I work somewhere and I don't want to work there anymore and I kind of cut the relationship, maybe I leave on bad terms, maybe I want to have nothing to do with them, I burn my bridges. Um, maybe it was really like a bad exit. So when I burn my bridges, that relationship is cut off and I can't go back. So sometimes people will say, when you leave a job or when you aren't friends with anyone, don't burn your bridges. Like keep the means of communication or keep those doors open just in case later things are okay. So do you have an English class or English classes? Formally, I don't do like grammar classes. I have a lot of videos on YouTube, free stuff. So I have pronunciation videos. I have whole playlists on that. Playlists on how to use connected speech when you're speaking. I have playlists on learning English, like tips. I have playlists on like English mistakes. So I hear a lot of English mistakes with my students. So I write them down and then people can like watch my videos and I'll say the mistake and then I'll give you 3 seconds to guess and then I say it. So this helps you test your English knowledge. Like, can you identify the mistakes? Yes or no? If you can, good job. If you can't, that means that you probably make the same mistake. So if you go to my YouTube channel, Learn English with Jess, and then you go to playlists, and then you go to common English mistakes, I have like a lot of videos that you could test your English and see if you make the same mistakes. Um, yes. So, as promised, I'm going to be doing a accent review. Is anyone here on YouTube? Because remember, that's the criteria. Is anyone here on YouTube that has already sent me a message on Instagram with the code word that would like me to analyze the pronunciation? Because that is what I want to do. If not, I have somebody else that already sent me a message. Okay, I have a bunch of different messages. They're kind of spammy. All right. I don't see any requests. So I'm going to be reviewing somebody's accent. There we go. All right, I'm really excited for this. So, you guys know how it works. I am going to be listening to this person's voice note. They are an English speaker. It's going to be 1 minute. And then I'm going to be listening for common mistakes because when you do not speak English as a first language, mostly people can tell that English is not your first language by one, your accent, your pronunciation, and two, like English mistakes. Like there's English mistakes that obviously English speakers make, but like common, like obvious mistakes. So, this is so awesome. So let's get started. I'm just going to erase my whiteboard so that I can write some things down. And I'm hoping you guys can hear this when I play it on YouTube.
Hi, my name is Nitila Chaudhary. My first language is Bengali. Currently, I'm living in New York and I'm working for a public school. And I have 8 years old daughter. And, I always wanted to take some courses so I can work on in my pronunciation so I could do better something in my career. So, I can have a better life. I always have fear, like people always judge me the way I speak because I don't born or native speaker like others in New York. And since I'm working in a public school, it is really hard for me to get into Like the way they speak, the way they act is kind of different. And sometimes I feel like I'm left over. So I really want.
Yes. Okay. This is my first time listening to her message. She is really good. This was the first time I listened. So sometimes I'm like, some people have thicker accents. She speaks really, really, really well. So I'm going to listen to part by part again and then say, like, share with you guys and her, because she'll watch this later, I think, what I hear that is not 100% correct. But honestly, she's really good, really good. So congratulations on getting your English that incredible. That it's wow. Um, and yeah, I live in a different culture as well, so I know what it's like to feel different, to have always like an accent, or am I saying or acting the same as everyone else? Like, I know. I live in a different culture too, and I feel like um, sometimes I don't really fit in, and I know the struggle. So I think I heard your name was Michaela, but I'm going to listen to it again. So before we get going, no, I'm not going to do that on here. Okay.
Hi, my name is Nitila Chaudhry. My first language is Bengali.
That's good.
Currently, I'm living in New York.
Mm, I'm just gonna go back a little bit. And I do want to say that I think people from New York have a very like different accent as well. Different accent, sorry.
My first language is Bengali. Currently, I'm living in New York.
Currently, okay, because it was like it kind of seemed mumbled a little bit together. So currently, I am living in New York. So I just want to say that it sounds really good. It was just the word currently that was not quite. So currently, and you'll notice that I don't really pronounce the T. You could say currently, but it's not necessary. Sorry, my English is getting bad. So currently, I am living in New York. So feel free to repeat because this will help you speak like a native speaker. So currently, I am living in New York. Currently. Currently. I'm going to try to spell it out so it's easier to see. So if it's like current, let's see if I can get it spelled a little better than that. 1 second, please. But wow, I'm really impressed by this person's English. Because sometimes people will get worried, like, if my English is not good enough, or if I have a thick accent, will it be hard for me to, um, like, to get a job? And, there's a lot of jobs that you can get without, you know, even if you have a thick accent. But sometimes our accents can hold us back from getting the job that we want. But for this lady, I don't think this is something that really will hold her back. It might be mental, right? Like you have a psychological block. You think psychologically that you're not like, that, oh, I'm not good enough. But I think she is. I think she can have almost any job she wants with the accent she has. It's really good. Current. So let's talk about currently. So I'm writing this down on my board. It's not good. So I want to make sure this is seen by my StreamYard, my YouTube. So currently, you can see it here. Currently. You could say currently, but currently sounds better. So currently. Good. So currently I'm living in New York. Currently I'm living in New York. Good. Let's see her next message. But seriously, if you're watching this, Michaela, like, wow. Wow. Your English is really good.
And I'm working for 8 years old.
Oop. Did you guys hear a mistake? It's something very minor that I don't know if all English speakers will notice, but I'm going to write it down. Okay, here we go. There's a mistake. Can you guys see the mistake? I have an 8 years old daughter. I have an 8 years old daughter. So if you are listening, feel free to guess what you think the mistake is. I have an 8 years old daughter. Does anyone know where's the mistake? In 3 seconds, 5 seconds, I'll give you guys some time. In 5 seconds, I'm going to correct it. So 5. No, "and" is not the mistake because 8 is technically it starts with, like, a vowel, so an 8. That's okay. No, "and" is okay. I have an 8 years old daughter, so 4, 3, 2, 1. The mistake, I'm gonna have to put this down. Just gonna double check something really quickly. Um, um, just make sure where the hyphen is, yeah. So, 8, yeah, okay, good. So, it should be. I'm gonna make sure that we can see it on StreamYard. The years, I'm getting rid of years. Okay, so I have an 8-year-old daughter, and you can see the hyphens, doot, doot, the dashes, the hyphens. I have an 8-year-old daughter. Yeah, good job. I could see some people say years. I have an 8-year-old daughter. So you can repeat to have the nice flow. So I have an 8-year-old daughter. An 8-year-old daughter. And you'll notice that daughter, I pronounce it with a D. This is something you'll see very, very like, you'll hear it a lot in the United States, North America. So I'm pronouncing it like daughter, 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 daughter. Okay. So I have an 8-year-old daughter. However, you could say my daughter is 8 years old. So she is 8 years old. But because 8-year-old is actually, let's check it out with ChatGPT. You guys can see. Okay, there we go. I'm going to share my screen for YouTube because I want you guys to see it. I'm sorry, I don't know how to share my screen. I can't really for TikTok. So I'm going to share my screen. Was I sharing it the whole time? No, I wasn't. Wait, share screen. Share screen. Share. Okay, good. So as you can see here, why? Somebody said, why is there the dash? Why do we need it? So we're going to check it out with ChatGPT because I have a freebie for you guys. And they say the correct phrasing should be an 8-year-old daughter. Here's the breakdown. You can see this on YouTube. Use 8-year-old as a compound adjective to describe the daughter. So it's like saying, I have a beautiful daughter. I have an 8-year-old daughter. And 8-year-old, so hyphen or dash, is hyphenated. ChatGPT is telling me this. All I asked it was an 8-year-old daughter, and it corrected that. So it is hyphenated, there are dashes, because it is a compound adjective before a noun. Boom! I have my free gift for you. So if you do want to have the ChatGPT prompt guide, link in bio and TikTok or in the description. And use the year, the singular form year in the compound adjective. So like I said, if I said she is 8 years old, there's how many years? 8 years. But because it's an adjective, it's singular. So the complete phrase is an 8-year-old daughter. So that's a tricky one. It is a very tricky one. So I'm going to remove this out. There we go. Nice. Now I'm going to go to the next part of the message. See if I hear any like pronunciation issues that I'd like to bring up. But like I said, this lady is really good in English.
Yeah, always wanted to take some courses so I can work on in my pronunciation, so I could do better something in my career. So
So I could do something better in my career. I would say so I can have a better job or so that I can have better job opportunities. Um, but like I mentioned, Matela, I really think that the block, what's stopping you is in your head. Like when I hear you speak English, I'm like, wow, she sounds like almost native, like a native English speaker. So I think if you feel like you're stopped or that you cannot have a better job, I think it's psychological. Honestly, because I can understand everything you say. Um, yeah. And I think 8 years old daughter, would an English speaker make that mistake? I don't know. But honestly, you're really great. um, yeah. Wow. There's some other stuff that I could say, but I think I'll leave it like that because it still sounds really good.
I can have a better life. I always have fear, like people always judge me the way I speak because
I think it's psychological, honestly, because you said I always have fear. Like I'm always scared. Do we say I have fear in English? It feels a little bit like a direct translation. I'm gonna ask ChatGPT. I have fear. Does this sound natural? I'm gonna let you guys see my screen. Um, okay. Again, please don't judge me. Now I'm typing. I have one hand. So I have fear. Does that sound unnatural to say? For me, it kind of sounds unnatural, but maybe it's just me. I would say I'm scared. So does this sound unnatural in English? Because in French, I know it's we say that. I know French isn't our first language, so English should be capitalized, so you guys know. So yeah, yes, I have fear sounds unnatural in English. ChatGPT confirms. I felt it. Um, you could say, however, like I have a fear of heights. You could say I have a fear of spiders, but I would say I'm scared. So in this example, I would say I'm scared instead of I have fear. Because I have a fear of something. It's like I have a phobia. I'm hoping that makes sense. All right, let's continue.
speaker like others in New York. And since I'm working in a public school, it is really hard for me to get into like the way to speak, the way
Hard to get into the way that I speak. It's hard. Okay, wait. I'm gonna listen to that again.
they get into like the way to speak, the way they act is kind of different. And sometimes I feel like I'm left over. So I really want
Okay, so I kind of feel like I'm left over. I kind of feel like I am left over. Oh, and someone says I have a fear of speaking in English. Yes, that could be a good example, but I know you're joking. I have. What did you say? I can't remember what the first part is, but of feeling left over. Okay. Yeah, because when I listen to her, when I listen to you, I don't know if you're listening, um, your pronunciation is really good. There are some fine details of things that you say that I'm like, "Oh, we could tweak that a little bit. We could change that a little bit." Um, which is normal. That's like me in French because I live in French. Okay. A feeling left over. That's not quite the exact phrase. So you feel left over. So leftover is like mm, I'm trying to think. I could ask ChatGPT, but leftover would be like when you eat food and then you have leftovers. Um, or I don't know. But when you don't feel included, I think that's what she means. Like she doesn't feel like a part of the community. Um, it is left, but it's not over. So when you feel like you don't, ooh, left behind. Ooh, that's not what I was thinking, but could that work? I guess if you're in conversation, you might feel left behind. But if you feel excluded, I think that's what she's trying to say. Feeling left out. So if you feel left out, you feel like you do not belong, especially when you live in a different culture, which I know what that's like. I work, well, actually, I don't currently work right now, but I've been working past few years in public schools and English is not the first language and I do sometimes feel left out. I feel different. Yeah, yeah, left out. Yeah, so a feeling left out. There's something else that she said I want to look at. Because I was like, I don't know exactly what she meant by it, but I think I know. I'm just gonna listen to it again. 1 second.
Speaker like others in New York. And since I'm working in a public school, it is really hard for me to get into like the way they speak, the way, they act is all.
Okay, it's hard for me to get into the way that they speak and the way that they act. Um, I'm not really sure what was meant by that. I think you might mean I I don't really feel like I act and speak like them. Maybe that's it. I don't know. But anyways, it's just like a minor detail. But I want to say your English is amazing. If you're watching this, if you're watching the replay, your English is amazing. Um, when you want to advance in your career, when you want to have more career opportunities, personally, I do not think your English is stopping you. I think you might believe that your English is stopping you, but I don't think it is. So let let that encouragement sink in. Receive that encouragement because um, it's not always that. It's not very often that I meet English learners. I was like, "Whoa, you're almost native." It does happen, but that's it. So I've been live for 33 minutes. If you have any quick questions, let me know. I'm going to check out some questions. Okay. So what about the new Headway books? I actually don't. I know what you're talking about, like Headway. I think it's grammar books. Um, I don't think I've actually picked one up and read it. So I have no comment, no opinion on the Headway books, but I think it's a pretty well-known grammar book. So as always, you guys, I have a free ChatGPT prompt guide, link in my TikTok bio, link in the description of my YouTube video. And if you guys want to possibly have me um, review your English, like I just did for this lady, if you're on my email list, I shared with you guys how to do it. Just send me the code word on Instagram. Um, All right. I think I get this question every time. I'm going to answer a few more questions. Hey, off topic. Who is your celebrity crush? I don't have a celebrity crush. My crush is my husband. Next, I'm preparing for CELPIP. I don't know if that's how I'm supposed to pronounce it. Any advice or guide? For me, I don't work with like grammar and like formal like testing and stuff like that. But I would say, I don't know, find find an influencer that actually is specialized or teacher that is actually specialized in it. So I don't have I do not have advice on that. I just have advice on pronunciation. All right. So, thank you guys for coming today. And I hope you guys had a lovely day and a good live. And if you want me to possibly review your accent, let me know. And of course, ChatGPT guide is free and it's in my comments. It's in my description. Sorry. And if you're watching the replay, there should be videos popping up here. So feel free to click on them and watch some more. Take care and bye bye.